Welcome to episode 74 of the 2 Minute Warning. Today, Wade is replacing Carson, and we're both going to give our predictions for Thursday Night Football. We got the Indianapolis Colts versus the Tennessee Titans at home in Tennessee. Who do you got for this Thursday night matchup?
I think it's going to be a real good game, but I think I'm going to have to take Tennessee in this one. They are just slightly favored, but I think this is going to be a somewhat similar matchup to them versus the Steelers. The Colts have a good, solid defense, but I think that the Titans were almost able to make a comeback against the Steelers. I think they'll be able to do that against Colts. I was looking at some of their stats, and the leaders in the Titans stats, their quarterback has better statistics. Even though Rivers might have more yards, he only has 10 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. Tannehill's got 19-3. Like that. Derrick Henry, I think, is a better rusher than Jonathan Taylor. I mean, I like him as a rusher, but I just can't see him being any better than Derrick Henry. And they got a solid tight end that I like, so I'm going to have to take the Titans in a close game.
Yeah, like Wade said, I mean, as good as Jonathan Taylor is, I don't know if anyone's really going to take Derrick. Anyone's going to take someone over Derrick Henry at this point. Maybe Dalvin Cook just because of how hot he's been. But anyway, back to the Titans and Colts. Jonnu Smith, as he said, for the Titans. This is a really interesting matchup for the Colts because they're now 5-3 after coming off that tough loss to the Ravens. And this is a really needed win for the Colts, in my opinion, because they play the Colts or the Titans this week, the Packers the week after, and the Titans the week after that. And then they go to Texans, Raiders, Texans, Steelers, Jags. And of those really tough games, I don't even know how many wins they can pull off. They better be hopeful they can at least just split the series with the Titans. In my opinion, that's going to be tough. Last week, Derrick Henry had a quiet game, especially for him, 68 rushing yards. And as good as the Colts' defense is, I think he's bound for a rebound. And he just seems to be playing better at night in primetime football when it's just the Titans playing. And I just think Derrick Henry is bound for a huge game. And I can see Phillip Rivers being his typical self, throwing a couple picks, and just putting the Titans in a real safe position. And I think it'll be not even really a close game. I think the Titans will take it away. Now, do I think that leaves no hope for the Colts? No, I do think they could split the series with them in 2 more weeks. But as of right now, for Thursday Night Football, I love Derrick Henry in his matchup against Darius Leonard. As good as Darius Leonard is, I'm not ever going to bet against Derrick Henry right now in his prime against anyone. And I think the Titans are going to win at least by 10 or 7. A big part of it's going to come from Phillip Rivers forcing a turnover.
I definitely see him giving a few turnovers up. But I was thinking, I think early on the Colts defense might be able to stifle the potent Tennessee offense, but I think that they're going to be able to find a way around that, just like they found a way around the Steelers. They were able to come back in the second half and score a ton of points, almost mount a nice comeback, but they didn't. But I don't see the Colts as being as good of a team to be able to put up points and stop them.
So. Yeah, really, both teams kind of need this one. I mean, the Titans, they just won last week against the Bears, but the 2 weeks before they lost to the Steelers and then the Bengals, and even the Bears win last week. It wasn't a great game for the Titans. They didn't really look dominant. They didn't look controlling, and that's just not very typical of the Titans as we saw in the beginning of the season. But just due to that Bears setback and the past 3 weeks of setback, I think they're just due to show that they could steamroll anyone again, and the Colts are going to have to face that wrath and deal with it and lose by at least 10.
The Titans definitely need this one heading into the next week against the Ravens, so hopefully they'll win this one.
Sounds good. 2 in the morning.